Welcome everyone to today's Weight Loss Shakes Masterclass, our ultimate very first Weight Loss Shakes Masterclass. I'm your host, Dr. Angela Kwong, and I'm a GP with a special interest in medically supervised weight loss. I work in Sydney. I work as a GP. I'm also the founder of Enlighten Me, a medically supervised weight loss program, and also the creator of the Enlighten Me Shakes. Some of you might know my background in that I created Enlighten Me, a medically supervised weight loss program, which works a bit differently to a lot of weight loss programs in that we're a little bit different. We take a multidisciplinary approach. We help patients to really identify the factors contributing to a person's weight, treat the problem, whilst also empowering patients with the skill set that they need to be able to address their lifestyle changes and also to be able to maintain the weight loss in the long term. And it was about a year into practicing this new style of weight management that I felt a bit iffy about prescribing so many weight loss medications. And this is my reaction here along the side. So I was holding all of these injectable pen medications and I just felt a bit uncomfortable. Because, for a lot of my patients, they were taking these weight loss injectable medications. And initially they said to me, these are great. These are a godsend. When I initially take these to me, I have less food noise. I'm not constantly thinking about what I need to prepare for lunch. I looked inside my fridge and I had like an onion and I had butter and I had a tiny bit of milk inside there. And I wasn't constantly thinking about what was going to be on the grocery list or what I was going to be preparing for dinner. I just suddenly had less food noise and it was absolutely so nice. But on the flip side of that, the other thing that they noticed was that they were really only having a natural appetite of about 30 to 50%. And when you're constantly only eating about 30 to 50%, it means that you're going to be day in and day out not having enough protein, but also not having enough nutrition. Now, the other thing that's special about these patients is when they're taking these injectable type medications, they're often juggling a lot of side effects. So they're often also having reflux, nausea, bloating, gut upset, a change in their bowel habit. And so for me to encourage them to have a whole food-based approach, try and get in your palm-sized serving of protein, try and get in your fruit and vegetables. It just really didn't make sense to be force-feeding them to be able to hit their nutritional targets. And that's why I was trying to think of a way to supplement their intake through a powdered approach. And that's why we were looking at all of these different types of protein supplements, whey-based, collagen-based, meal replacement shakes that were on the market. But I couldn't really find something that was, number one, high in protein yet low in carb. So it wouldn't really undo all the good work that they were doing with their medication. Also clean, not full of fillers that was going to upset their gut. Australian made, which I really support as well, and not full of artificial sugars as well, which tends to give patients a laxative effect. So with that in mind, I work together with my patients and really listen to what their preferences and what their needs were. And they gave me a lot of feedback as to what it was that they did like and didn't like with all of the existing products on the market. And they said to me, when it comes to shakes, for example, my taste buds are really changed when I've been taking injectables. Like, I just can't stand sweet stuff anymore. If you're going to make a shake, would you mind making it just neutral to slightly sweet? I can't stand dessert level of sweetness anymore. I said, yes, I'll definitely take that into account. They also said, can you make it adjustable in terms of the serving size? Sometimes I just feel like half a shake. So if there's any way that you can make it so that sometimes I have a full shake and sometimes I have a half shake, because sometimes I just have a 50% appetite. I said, yes, done. I'll definitely do that. They also said, can you not make it in single serves? Because I feel really bad when I have all of these sachets and I feel bad for the planet. But can you also not make it in a mega tub or in a giant gym size serving, because I feel really sick when I see those ones. And I feel like, I can't even go near it. I can't even start it. It just makes me feel really nauseous looking at that and feeling like I can't commit to it. So I said, yes, a week has 7 days. I'm going to put 7 serves inside there. So it's not too much. It's not too little. It's just right. So a lot of the design that went into the shakes went in. I have to give credit to my patients in designing the shakes, because it really came from them. But it's not a prescription only shake. It's not a prescription only medicine. And it's not just for the patients who I care for. The shakes were originally designed with my patients' needs in mind, but they are also great shakes for anyone who's really looking for a simple and convenient option, because I know just how hard it is for many people to have a easy and convenient option to really be able to control their weight. So let me show you a little bit more. When I was really looking at, what it is that we have on the market, because I did, and many of you who are, really fans of having a look at, labels, or, really love looking and delving into the back of the packet, might be able to figure out what these kind of products might be. But essentially, I said, tell me what it is that you've tried. Tell me what it is that you like about them. Tell me what it is that you don't like about them. I had a look at all the different shakes that my patients were taking, and I had a good think about it. So as an example, for me, having a high protein and a low carbohydrate content was really important, because number one, I wanted to get in a palm-sized serving of protein. No matter if you are a man, a woman, a larger, tall man, or a small, petite woman, your palm is going to be proportional to you. And so you should be really aiming for a palm-sized serving of protein. For me, I'm probably like an average woman, and my palm, if I'm getting a palm-sized serving of chicken, beef, or fish, it's going to be somewhere between 25 to 30 grams. And so that's why I designed the shakes to be about 30 plus grams of protein. So that if I'm having about a palm-sized serving of a shake for breakfast, I'm getting 30 plus grams of protein. If I'm having a serving of chicken breast at lunch, that's 30 grams of protein. If I'm having a steak at dinner, that's about 30 grams of protein. So in total, I'm getting about 90 grams of protein in a day. So that's why by design, I made it 30 grams of protein in a day. But if you do have a look at a lot of design of a lot of the shakes on the market, for example, this is a really well-known shake that's been around for dinosaur years, really, well recommended by a lot of bariatric surgeons, dietitians, just because it's been around for such a long time. It really does have a 1-to-1 ratio. So when it does have about 2/3 of a palm of protein serving, it also has that alongside carbohydrates as well. This is one that has been discontinued now, and while it did have quite a good serving of protein, about 25 grams, it had even more than that in terms of carbohydrates. This is one that my patients love to get when they buy their groceries. So they're like, this is so convenient. It's great. I just buy my groceries and I get my shake and it tastes good. And I was like, even though it does have, 2/3 of a palm size of protein, there is so many carbohydrates in here. There's 25 grams of carbohydrates. This is also one that only has 7.5 grams of protein, and yet 15 grams of carbohydrates. And last but not least, one that is, I've seen this one in a lot of supermarkets and in a lot of chemists, only 5 grams of protein and yet 19 plus grams of carbohydrates. So yeah, when I'm trying to help my patients to lose weight, we always think protein first, protein first, protein first. So if you've ever been to any of my Facebook Lives, if you've ever been to any of my teaching, that's what I'm always teaching. I'm never teaching anyone to be low carb, zero carb, or no carb. I'm always teaching them to really prioritize the protein first, because protein is always going to be important to support your muscles, support your metabolism, and for maintenance of your weight loss journey. And as soon as you prioritize your protein, carbohydrates will always be the second thought, and it will always be smaller. So So that's the reason why I prioritize the protein and put in that big palm-sized serving of protein. Now I'm going to type into the chat. This is a challenge. Does anyone know what FODMAP stand for? Let's see if anyone knows what FODMAP stand for, or if you can get a point if you can figure out what any of the letters stand for in FODMAPs. Let's have a look in the chat now and see if we got anyone in here who can type in what the letters in FODMAP stand for. And while I have a look in the chat, I'll go to the next category, which is all of the shakes where I have a look. They're all gluten-free. The Enlighten Me shake and one of the other ones that's starting with I have medium chain triglycerides, which is great for metabolism. In terms of the Enlighten Me shakes, they also have digestive enzymes. So that is lactase, cellulase, protease, amylase, for example. And then now just going back to FODMAPs, we didn't have any answers, but that's okay. More than happy to share that. FODMAPs stand for fermentable oligosaccharides, disaccharides, monosaccharides, and polyols. Now, I know that's a big mouthful, but that's essentially just carbohydrates of different chain lengths. And the most famous FODMAP is lactose. So a lot of patients say to me, you know, I have a lot of difficulty with dairy. Whenever I have milk, cheese, yogurt, ice cream. Initially, I burp a lot, I bloat, I get very gassy, and then afterwards I have diarrhea. And essentially, that is the lactose, which is a milk sugar that tends to do that. But did you know that there are other types of FODMAPs that can cause those irritable bowel type symptoms? And those can come from simple foods. So they can come from onions, they can come from watermelon, they can come from apples. So they can come from very healthy foods. And it's not that those foods are bad, it's just that they have carbohydrates that are fermentable. So some of these are naturally occurring carbohydrates. Some of them are more artificial type sweeteners, such as, in this example, xylitol, such as erythritol, which can be natural or it can be man-made. But as you'll see, the Enlighten Me shake is actually the only FODMAP-friendly shake. So you can rest assured that this is something that if you were someone who did have a lot of irritable bowel type symptoms and you were wondering why when you have a lot of protein powders, meal replacement shakes, protein bars, and you're wondering why that might be the case, it might be because it has a lot of hidden fructose. It might be because it has a lot of erythritol, xylitol, maltitol. It might be because it actually has a lot of FODMAPs in there as sweeteners that is actually fermenting the sugars and upsetting the gut. So that's another feature that you can look for. Okay, another couple of features. I think that when it comes to shakes, for a lot of us, we have solely been focused on the main picture, which is dieting, restricting, cutting down to a certain number of calories. We've been so focused in the 80s, in the 90s, cutting your calories, cutting your carbs, and being in this very dieting and restrictive type mindset. But it's only now that we're starting to move away from that and we're starting to really think about the gut microbiome. We're starting to really understand that for you to be healthy on the outside, your digestive tract needs to be healthy on the inside. And with that in mind, I've put a few lovely ingredients on the inside to really nourish the gut. So what you'll notice is the Enlighten Me shakes also have prebiotics, probiotics, and daily greens. So there is broccoli, spinach, and kale inside there. You'll also notice that it is a formulated meal replacement shake. So many shakes can claim to have 10 vitamins and minerals or 15 essential vitamins and minerals. A formulated meal replacement shake is one that follows the food standards of Australia and New Zealand, and it is balanced in terms of your daily vitamins and minerals. So that's just something else to be aware of. Any questions so far? Feel free to type it in the chat and more than happy to answer it. I do have a couple of questions that got sent through via email from the RSVP, so I'll go through those ones at the end. But something that I alluded to earlier in the presentation was, originally I was really thinking about my patients, these patients who are taking these injectable medications, struggling to have more than 50% of their normal intake and trying to fill that protein and nutritional gap. So these are really my patients who are using the shakes to really fill the gap. But there are many other types of people who are suitable to use the shakes as well. A lot of people say, if I'm not your patient, can I also use the shakes? Of course you can. And for many of my patients who have graduated on, who have finished their weight loss journey, their medical weight loss journey, they're no longer taking any medication, they're well and truly at their goal weight, and they're just looking to control their weight in the long term. The weight loss journey is something that you sometimes need to consider in terms of control. And I don't know if you've attended any of my other teaching in the past, but for a lot of us, we need to think about the future because we are going to age. We are going to age about 500 grams year on year. For perimenopausal or menopausal women, it's a bit harder than that. They go through an accelerated rate of weight gain. But we do need to be prepared for weight gain with aging. And as such, for many of my patients, they do use the shakes as a strategy for weight control. So as a way to incorporate a source of protein that's low in carb, and they don't always use it as a meal replacement. For them, it's often used in the style of a protein powder. And I'll show you how you can use that in a moment. But I also alluded to the fact that you can just use it in the absence of weight loss medication. So in the traditional sense of simplifying it. So in the traditional sense of, I don't feel like cooking tonight. I'm dining by myself. I think I'll just mix the powder with water and have a shake. Or, I am going to be on the road. I'm just going to pack with me 2 scoops of powder, pack with me a bottle of water and my shaker cup. And I'm just going to be on the road and have a shake. So you can definitely use it as an everyday convenience factor, or you can definitely use it in the absence of medication as well, which is on this side of the triangle. Now, I've got this question for you, and I would love you to type it in the chat. Does this look familiar to you? So how does this look in terms of a day on the plate? Does this look healthy? Does this look familiar? Is there anything wrong with this food? Does it look unhealthy? Does it look like good food, bad food, terrible food? Any comments? Who have we got inside the chat? We've got Michael, we've got Suzanne, we've got Louis, we've got Andrew. Tell me what you think about this food. Does it look colorful? Does it look full of whole grains? Does it look protein rich? Does it look convenient? Does it look scrumptious, delicious? What do you think about this food? Because I'll tell you what my patients tell me when they're looking for help with weight loss. They'll often come to me and say, I'm confused why I can't lose weight. I'm really stuck. Okay, Dr. Angela, I've read so much when it comes to weight loss. I've seen a dietitian, I've seen a nutritionist, I've cleaned up my diet. I have tried to make my day like optimal, like I'm seriously lost. And they'll say to me, and Louise says, yummy, like this looks so good. And they'll say to me, okay, I start the day off really well. I have a bowl of oats. I'm trying to incorporate whole grain. I use berries because they're low GI. I don't have a whole banana. I know that it is more sugar, so I don't have a whole one. I just have half a banana. And we got Andrew on the iPhone says, too many carbs for my activity level. Good point. And then they might say to me, okay, when it comes to breakfast, I'll have a piece of sourdough or whole grain. I have an egg, I have some avocado. And then for lunch, I've steered away from having like a toasted sandwich or going down and getting a roll. Instead, I'll go get a sushi roll. Instead, that's healthier. And then they might say, I'll have a wrap instead of having a toasted sandwich. And then they'll say for dinner, they'll usually say one of 2 things. They'll say, dinner is not that easy because I have kids and I have to cater for something that the family will eat. Or they'll say, I have a growing family. I have teenagers going through a growth spurt. They must eat pasta. It's all that they will eat. So that's why I had a picture of pasta. Or the other thing they'll say to me is, Dinner is one meal where it's easy for me to get a palm-sized serving of protein and vegetables on the side. So that's the reason why I've put these 6 pictures on here, because these are pictures that my patients would tell me that, this is familiar to me as an example of how I have improved my meal. And then I'll show them what the nutritional value is of these typical meals. So if you look at this nutritional value, for example, this bowl of oats or oatmeal with berries and banana, this has about 300 and something calories, 55 grams of carbs, to Andrew's point, too much carbs on my activity level, 9 grams of protein. This piece of toast with avocado and egg, etc., 500 and something calories, 50 grams of carbs, 20 something grams of protein. 3 sushi rolls, 1,000 calories, 114 grams of carbs, 23 grams of protein. This chicken and salad roll, 200 and something calories, 21 grams of carbs, 26 grams of protein. This pasta for dinner, 600 calories, 69 grams of carbs, 33 grams of protein. And then this palm-sized serving of dinner, but I can tell you not many of my patients will have the entire salmon steak. 500 calories, 18 grams of carbs, and 45 grams of protein. So the reason why I point this out is that, number one, it's not that easy to cut your carbohydrate content from seemingly rainbow healthy food. It's actually quite tricky, because anytime that you go out to a cafe, a restaurant, most food will actually be carbohydrate rich food. And so to get down to a single digit of carbohydrates is actually very, very tricky. And then also, when you have a think about your calorie density, and what I mean by that is where the calories are coming from, it's so hard to actually reduce the calories from the carbohydrates. So it's not really just about cutting your calories and going hungry. So it's not just about going from 500 calories and cutting it down to a smaller piece. So having half a piece of toast, half an egg, half an avocado. It's not really about having less food and going hungry. It's about the quality of the calories that you're having, so that going from 50 grams of carbohydrates, so that you're still having a significant amount of protein to fuel your body for all of that activity that you're going to be doing, but still having a single digit of carbohydrates. So that's the reason why for many people who take the shakes, they don't really have to be obsessive, logging, doing anything that's really difficult. It's just about replacing 1 to 2 shakes a day. And so many people ask me, if I'm going to use the shakes, do I have to be regimented? Do I have to go through like a stepwise model? Do I have to do 3 shakes a day, go through a flu-like illness, and then go through 2 shakes a day and have a real meal, and then have 1 shake a day and then have 2 real meals and then go back to real life? Do I have to do the regimented thing? And the answer is no. The answer is, if you want to simply exchange 1 or 2 meals a day where you know that you're going to have an easy exchange, so you're going to go from 500 and something down to 209, or you're going to exchange this 500 down to 209. But this big 50 something carbs is going to go down to 5.5, or this 18 carbs is going to go down to 5. It's such a easy exchange to have 1 to 2 meals a day, and easily it's going to start adding up to give you a calorie deficit without you necessarily going hungry, and without you necessarily having smaller quantities of your food. So you can still actually enjoy and incorporate real food into your diet. Does that kind of make sense for everyone? You can still have a lot of real, nutritious, whole food, lots of variety, lots of taste, but it's just incorporating 1 to 2 shakes a day. And it's not really with a dieting or with a restricting type mindset. It's with a mindset of enjoy your whole food, enjoy what you like, but be strategic and use this as a strategy to have a controlled calorie, high protein, low carb approach a couple of times a day. How does that sound? Yay. All right. How can the shakes be used? Let me show you a couple of different ways. And if you've seen my social media, you might have noticed that I recycled a couple of these videos. This is the quick and easy way to do it. You can literally make a shake. Oh, got too much music. You can literally make a shake in less than 20 seconds. Powder and water, but water first so that you don't get any clumps and it doesn't stick to your cup. Get your cup, put in your 300 mils of water, put in your 2 scoops, mix it up and pour it into a cup or drink straight from the shaker. Literally, you'll be done. You can keep one at home. You can keep one in the office. You can keep one in your gym bag, whatever you like. It's super fast. Second way of doing it. So if you're someone who needs taste, texture, flavor, you can use it as a smoothie base. So you can, oh, I thought I turned off all the sound. You can add in your yogurt, you can add in your berries, you can add in your nuts, your seeds, and this will really make it delicious for you. So Bo, who is our in-house nutritionist, she loves to give us lots of recipes to really make the shakes lots and lots of fun. And if you haven't already, make sure that you do join our Enlighten Me products community. I pop into the community every 1 to 2 weeks to do training, do some Facebook Lives from inside my kitchen and show everyone how to make the shakes really fun. This is a way that you can have a snack. So for those people who get 3:30-itis, they're like, I need to have some chocolate in the afternoon. Or for people who have, they're taking the meal replacement, they're taking the injectable medications and they're only managing to have 50% of their appetite, just make half a shake. So just have 1 scoop plus 150 mils of milk or water. And then you can just mix that up into the shaker and have it as a high protein snack. So that makes 16 grams of protein. And if you think about it, 1 egg is 7 grams. So you're having more than 2 eggs in a very small volume, and it's very quick and easy to make. This one is using the shake as a milk substitute. So you can use the vanilla meal replacement shake as a milk substitute. I've tried it with hot and cold. So I've mixed the vanilla 1 scoop with 150 mils and mixed it with a bit of rice bubbles. And I've also tried zapping in the microwave with some high protein oats, and it's so good. So you can definitely do that. And last but not least, you can just use it as a protein powder. So if you wanted to, you can definitely mix it with some dates, nuts, seeds, and turn it into your own protein bars or protein bliss balls and share it as a lovely high protein snack. So whatever you like. This is a really good way so that, when I talked about my patients who have completed their weight loss journey and they are just enjoying it as a protein powder so that they can maintain their nutrition in the long term. These are some of the ways that we are enjoying the powder in the long term. And we got here, Andrew says, BlendJet battery powdered blenders are great, and they even let you add some ice and they're fun to use. That's a great tip. Thank you. Yeah, I know that some of the battery powered ones tend to be a bit more gentle. So that's good that this one is able to blend the ice. That's a really good tip because many people do like to have blended ice. Thank you, Andrew. That's great. And what have I got? Last but not least, we are available in store and online. So currently we have 4 stockists in New South Wales, 1 in Melbourne, 1 in Perth, and I'm just about to update the website and put our second one on Perth as well. So if you would like to purchase online, you head to enlightenme.com.au, and you can also find the details of our stockists on there as well. You can see the links to their websites, and also that way you can find out their opening hours and their address as well. All right, I'm going to end share and see if we got any questions right now. I'll start off with some of the questions that got submitted first while you start typing the questions into the Q&A. The first question that got submitted was from Sarah. She asked about the lactose content. So lactose is a milk sugar, and the Enlighten Me shakes are low in lactose. In the first run of the bags that I've done, I haven't actually printed the lactose content on there, but it will be on the second run of the bags. The chocolate and the vanilla each contain 1 gram of lactose per serve, and lactose intolerant patients can usually tolerate 15 grams of lactose per serve. So if you only have 1 gram of lactose, that's definitely under the threshold. And in addition to that, there are the digestive enzymes. So there is lactase, which breaks down lactose, and the other digestive enzymes. So by the time that you got 1 gram of lactose plus lactase, you'll definitely be set. So there's very, very little lactose to be digested by then. Another question that got sent through by Anna was, you've got chocolate, you've got vanilla. Are there any other ways that you can make up the flavors? And the answer is yes. So we've come up with some very different ways to mix up the flavors. So as you know, I've got chocolate, and some of the ways that my patients like to change up the chocolate is chocolate by itself. That's very easy. Chocolate with vanilla. They make chocolate vanilla, obviously. Chocolate with a teaspoon of Milo. You can make choc malt, which is really nice. And chocolate with your own coffee. So everyone has their own kind of like favorite when it comes to coffee, but you can turn that into a mocha flavor, which is really nice. Now, I've also noticed that the vanilla is selling way faster than the chocolate. And it might be because vanilla is so flexible. It's not really heavily flavored. It's just kind of like a milk flavor, like a very light vanilla, but a milk flavor. And there's so much that you can do with it in terms of being a milk base or being a milk substitute. So I noticed that the milk is, the vanilla flavor is selling out like crazy. So this is what you can do with the vanilla. Number one, you can use it as a milk substitute. So use it with your oats, use it with your cereal, use it as your smoothie base. With the vanilla, also you can use the vanilla and use half a teaspoon of your matcha green tea powder and turn it into a green tea smoothie. That one's really nice. Now, if you've got kids at home and you also have any cans of Nesquik, like you got Nesquik banana or Nesquik strawberry, just use half a teaspoon. You don't need much because you're not turning it into strawberry milk or banana milk. It's already ever so slightly sweet. So you're just using it for the flavor of the banana or the flavor of the vanilla. And that way you got vanilla, you got green tea, you got banana, and you got strawberry. So even though you only have 2 base flavors, you actually have like a whole rainbow of flavors, but you don't have to have like multiple shakes inside your pantry. How does that sound, everyone? Good. Okay. And we've got a question here from Louis. Is the protein powder whey concentrate or isolate? It's both. So it is a blend of the two. It contains a mixture of whey protein concentrate and whey protein isolate. It does not contain any micellar casein protein. That is a slow release protein, and I deliberately didn't put that one inside there because I had my patients taking the GLP-1 medications in mind, and they already have a slower digestive system. So because their stomach is already moving in slow-mo, then I deliberately didn't put micellar casein protein inside there. Perfect. Louise says, great, thank you. Any more questions that we got from the crowd today, or did we have lots of fun at our Weight Loss Shakes Masterclass? Is everyone excited? Great, thank you. Well, that concludes today's Weight Loss Shakes Masterclass. Thank you to Louis, thank you to Michael, thank you to Suzanne, thank you to Andrew. You've been a great audience. I'm going to wrap this up. Oh, thank you for all the love hearts, really appreciate it. I'm going to send to the recording to everyone who couldn't make it to us live. Thank you for your support, everyone. I really appreciate it. This has been really a dream come true for me to be a doctor who's been able to formulate my own shake just because of the dream that I had to be able to support my patients in a way because they were really struggling to fill their own protein and their nutritional gaps. So to be able to launch the shake and make this dream really come to life, but to also see it being used and to have people having repeat purchases. So to have patients using it, buying it, have pharmacists tell me that the product is flying off the shelves and they need more and more, especially the vanilla, and having them reorder it and saying that the patients absolutely love it is actually a dream come true. So I'm Absolutely so thrilled, and I'm so glad to have so many of you supporting me in the masterclass today. So thank you so much, everyone. And I can't wait to do this again and run the second Weight Loss Shakes Masterclass with all the updates that I'll have again in the future. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.